Today, I'd like to share a mini Feldenkrais lesson called Legs in Action. And this is a really fun lesson for preparing the joints of your legs for action, for dynamic movement. So, if you're planning on going for a walk or a run or doing something athletic with your lower body, this is a beautiful lesson to do in preparation because it will help wake up new movement pathways for your hip joints, your knees, your ankles, and feet. It's also a great lesson to try if you've struggled with a lot of tension and pain in the joints of the legs, the feet, even the lower back. These novel movement pathways might begin to shift your habits and your experience. So, to begin, come and lie down on your back. You need to be on a surface that's firm enough that you can sense the ground beneath you, but you've got enough cushioning that you're comfortable to be there for a bit. And just begin by sensing the contact of the ground beneath you, how you are resting on the ground. What sort of impression do you make? Which parts of you feel heaviest resting on the ground, and which parts of you are lifted away? And then begin to sense your 5 lines. So, sensing how the line of your spine from tailbone to base of skull is in contact with the ground or lifted away. Get a sense of the length of that line. And then feel the line of your right arm, shoulder to fingertips, how that arm is resting on the floor. Contrast that with the line of your left arm, shoulder to fingertips. And then draw a line in your imagination for your right leg, hip joint to heel, getting a sense of the length of that leg, the turnout of that leg. And then compare that to the line of the left leg, hip joint down to your heel. And then go ahead and roll yourself onto your right side. And you can either support your head with your right arm up overhead, or you can use a support for your head, a yoga block, some books, folded towels, and feeling into the contact throughout the right side of you. And then lift your entire left leg up to the height of the hip, keeping the leg parallel, and then lower it back down. Lift your entire left leg away from the bottom line, only to the height of the hip. And feel what's the response in your belly, in your back. Is your breath free to come and go even as you make this movement? And lower your leg, and then begin to lift the foot and the lower leg only. So you keep your knees together and you simply lift your foot into the air and bring it back down. Again, feeling the response in your pelvis, your belly, your back. Now change it so you lift your heel first, followed by your toes and the lower leg. You let your toes drip down. The heel is the last thing to return. You lift your heel, followed by your toes. And then your toes are the first to lower, and your heel is the last thing. And just feeling what happens in the rotation of your left hip joint. How does the pelvis respond to the movement? And then change it so you lift your Toes first, followed by your heel and the lower leg. Your knees and thighs stay together. And can you still let your pelvis roll forward a little, even as you lift your foot in this funny way? Great. And now lift the knee and let the feet stay together. How does the pelvis roll now? As you lift the knee, sense how the pelvis rolls backwards a little. And is there a response in your head every time you lift the knee? And now slowly alternate between the two. One time you lift your knee, the next time you lift your foot and lower leg. And feel how the pelvis rolls forward and then it rolls backwards. And also notice the response in your head. There's this pushing and pulling that happens in response to the alternating movement of the leg. And then let that go and roll onto your back. Take a rest there. And notice the sensation in each leg. Does one leg feel longer or flatter? Enjoying the support of the floor. When you're ready, roll onto your right side again, the same side. Setting yourself up, support under the head, knees stacked on top of the other, and lift your entire left leg to the height of the hip. So the foot, knee, and hip are all parallel, and then you lower it back down. And how do you support this movement with your pelvis? Does your pelvis roll backward or forward as you lift your entire left leg? And now try pressing the right leg against the floor a little to support the lifting of the left leg. So there's almost like this reverberation that happens. You press down to float the left leg up. And now lift only your left heel and tap it against your right heel. And tap your heels together more quickly, more quickly. And can you feel the rotation in the hip joint? These fast movements can help activate some of the supporting muscles, all the muscles that support your hip joint. And now lift your whole left leg up into the air a couple times, and then keep it up there. And now flex and extend the ankle. Make the movement a little faster, like you're just flapping the ankle. Right, and lower down, rest. Lift the entire left leg into the air, and this time move only from your hip. So you bring your thigh forward and then behind you. Don't change the angle of the knee or the ankle. As you bring your leg back, it's as if you're going to press your foot against the wall behind you. And then you bring your knee towards your chest. So you're swinging from your hip. And feel what's the response in your pelvis and your spine. When do you look up and when do you look down? And then pause, rest on your side for a moment. And then lift your whole left leg into the air again. And this time slowly and flex and extend your knee only. Don't change the angle in your hip or ankle, just the knee. And then make the movement a little faster, like you're kicking something. And rest as soon as you're tired. And roll onto your back and take a full rest there. Does one leg turn out more than the other now? Sometimes as we let go of the tension from our hips, we might notice that our leg rolls outwards and rests with more external rotation. All right, bend your knees, stand the soles of both feet on the floor, And bring your right leg towards your belly. Lift the foot towards the ceiling and then lower your foot to the floor again. Do that many times and feel what happens in your lower back. What do you feel shifting against the ground? To lift the leg comfortably really requires movement in the spine and the ribs. Now bring the right leg towards your belly and hold behind the knee with both hands and flex and extend the ankle. And make the movement a little faster and a little faster until it just becomes an oscillation. Great. And lower the foot down. Pause for a moment. Bring your right knee towards your belly. Hold behind the knee with both hands. And this time flex and extend the knee. What do you feel happening in your back? Are there any changes in pressure on the floor? And be gentle with yourself. You can rest whenever you need to in these movements. And now bring both knees towards your chest, holding behind each knee with each hand. And now flex and extend your ankles. And notice, do you move your ankles in the same direction or opposite direction? See if you can move your ankles in the same direction. Then make the movement a little faster. Can you keep the timing, the coordination of both ankles moving simultaneously? And then slow the movement down again. And bring your forefeet towards you and lift your toes, spread them, and then point your forefeet away from you and curl the toes under. Go back and forth like that, lifting and then curling. And then change it so as you bring your forefeet towards you, you curl the toes under. And then as you point your feet, you lift the toes. Do that a couple times. And then let that go and rest. Can bring your legs out long. How do your legs lie on the floor now? What's the quality of your lying legs, your pelvis, your rib cage? Then once again, bend your knees, bring both legs up and hold behind your knees. And this time, bring your feet up in the direction of the ceiling and alternate the flexing and extending of the ankles so the feet move in opposite directions. It's like you're walking with one foot getting long and the other foot getting shorter. And now make the movement faster and faster. It's like your feet are running on the ceiling. And then lower your legs, pause on your back, taking a rest. Feeling your contact with the ground. And then roll to lie on your right side again. Setting yourself up in the same way. And lift and lower the top leg. How is that now? Can you feel some movement in your pelvis and your ribs against the floor more clearly than at the beginning? How do you use your right leg as support against the ground? Really allow your pelvis to roll backwards as you lift the top leg and roll forwards as you lower your leg. And now keeping your legs stacked, alternate lifting the knee and the foot. Lift and lower the knee, and then lift and lower the foot. Something changed in the ease of that movement. And then roll onto your back again. take a rest, take a moment for integration. Notice what you notice. What is interesting? What are you curious about within yourself? And when you're ready to carry on with your day, slowly roll to one side, come up to standing, and sense the differences between the left and right side. You can either carry on with your day, appreciating the contrast, or you can return to your back and repeat this entire lesson on your left side. So just press play again, reverse the directions in your mind, and see what you discover on your other side. All right. Thank you for your attention. Take good care.